The other thing is we wanted everyone to walk away with the idea that the answers that they're looking for are always inside of them. Yes, you can look outside for wisdom, for mastery, for
inspiration.
Yeah, but do not kid yourself. You know, just make the space to go inside. And that was really important.
So welcome to Tapping In. If you guys have been craving alignment, if you've been craving emotional freedom and clarity on your path, well, this episode is for you. We're going to dive into 5 transformational tips that have helped real-life women transform their entire life. And what's amazing is we have Angel Orengo with us here today. He is co-author of the book, The Orchid, The Secret Code of the Modern Goddesses. I am so happy to have you here with us today, Angel.
Thank you, Marisa. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic pleasure and privilege to be here.
Thank you so much. So what inspired you to co-write a book about female energy, the goddesses?
Well, the truth is, I'm going to jump right into that moment. My wife and I had gone through an incredible period of introspection. And we had already gotten to the moment in which we said, how do we share this with the world? And one day we were having coffee in our kitchen, and as she's drinking, she's like, oh, by the way, I had a dream last night.
It's the best.
It has to be about women. And at that point, almost in a split second, I looked at my entire life and I said, of course it is. Mm-hmm. Because throughout my entire life, I had been coached, directed, taught by incredible women in different aspects of my life. And it just all of a sudden made a lot of sense that it would be.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I can feel my body lighting up too when you say that. So then you came up with these 5 transformational steps. What are they? Can you tell us a bit about that?
As we were trying to digest what was happening with us,
yes,
and the elements and the experiences and the lessons that were the most profound, it's probably worth mentioning that at the moment in which we went into our introspection, my wife, Rocio, and also the co-author of the book, was looking for forgiveness. Something had happened. I was able to let go. She hadn't. And she wanted forgiveness. And it wasn't just getting to forgiveness. She wanted to understand the ABCs of forgiveness, the 1, 2, 3, which I couldn't give her. I didn't have the language at that time to do so. So we picked forgiveness. We picked purpose. And at the end, when we started to write the book, what really came out as the 5 lessons that we wanted to teach are awareness, gratitude, forgiveness, acceptance, and intention. And how we look at them is in 3 stages. Stage number 1 is about becoming aware. And for us, awareness, at least in the book, is about being able to look at yourself and ask yourself the whys. Why do I do this? Why do I think this? Why do I act this way? That's followed by a second question, which is, what are you going to do about it? Do you like it? Continue doing it. If you don't, would you consider changing it? If you are going to go into that stage of changing, then move on to the next stage, which is gratitude, forgiveness, and acceptance. Powers, forces, that when you go deep into them, they really do change you from within out. And lastly, after you recuperate all of that power, what do you want to do with it? And what we say is whatever the heck you want. Use all that energy to create the life of your dreams, to become intentional about everything that you want to do.
That's amazing. What has been the magic you found from all the stories that women have shared back after reading your book? What are some of the stories that you've heard that really sparked you?
There's been many.
Yes.
And my wife and I cry every day out of gratitude and just humbleness that the book is, and its stories are touching people in the way in which they are. A woman called the book Holy. And that touched us, just to know that Spirit, God, the universe, had picked us to bring a story forth that was so profound. There is a woman who read our book. She has a podcast. she's quite famous in Mexico and spoke in public as to how the book and the reading it was the last drop that she needed to get out of a depression and that she had had for multiple years.
I think that's one thing that makes your book special is you give the actual steps, right? Instead of just arbitrarily, feel gratitude, wake up and feel gratitude. You actually give people the steps to go through to help them. You kind of walk them through the whole process, which I think is very special.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know where that comes from? We believe in that saying that says, well, in the wisdom of saints. And there's one that says, life is 10% what happens and 90% how you react. And both my wife and I are ex-TV executives. And our experience has been that traditionally, storytelling has been about focusing on the drama that people live. And what we wanted to do is focus a very little percent of our story in that drama, the what happened. Why are they angry? Why are they lost? Why are they in pain? Why are they in trauma? But focus the majority of the book on the stages that they could follow so that they could get out of it. So you'll spend the larger part of the book reading about those steps that you mentioned, reading about exercises that you can do, you, the reader, can do in the privacy of your space, whatever that is, to connect with yourself and kind of move away from that pain.
That's amazing, because I love reading books where they focus more on how do I get better, as opposed to, like you said, the old story. Because when I feel like I get connected to the old story, then I'm still sitting in that pain.
Yeah.
And what I love about what you did is you give enough information to where I can relate to it. Like, that kind of sounds like me. So I don't feel so alone, but then I can have the steps to kind of walk me through it, which is really nice.
We went through an incredible amount of effort to make sure that the women were real, the women we were writing about. And in fact, the majority of them, it's us, it's my wife, and it's me, elements of me. There's a woman in the book that she is at the height of her success. And it's looking at all the mistakes that she made rather than enjoy it. That's me. Right. That's what was happening in my life at the time. There's a woman that is angry with the world and how much she's had to fight to get to where she is. And that is a little bit of my wife and me. There's another woman who is divorced and she hasn't been able to get over it. 5 years, and she's now neglecting her career, her family, her kids. And those were our moms, both my wife's mom, who passed away at an early age, and mine, who is still alive, struggled a lot with divorce. So we wanted to capture real stories. The book is fictional, except it isn't.
Right.
The moment you dive into it, it's about real people. And so you immediately either see yourself or you begin to see women in your life that are, very close to you, that aunt, that cousin, that sister. Yes. Everybody sees themselves in it. Which
is nice, because you being a male, it's nice to see that you're getting something out of it. It's not like, oh, this is for goddesses, or it's going, more of that mystical kind of roadmap that we are everything. We have the female and the male energy, and you're a beautiful example of incorporating that within yourself. And I think that's how we're shifting nowadays too, right? People are becoming less identified with this one's better, this one's weaker, as opposed to we are one, we are everything. I read somewhere recently that gender, it's something we created, right? That in general, all of us exhibit these energies and qualities. Yes.
And in fact, I woke up not long ago from a dream, and somehow I focus on the fourth commandment. It says, honor thy mother and thy father, or thy father and thy mother. And immediately it hit me. Honor the divine masculine and the divine feminine in you.
Yes.
And the moment you achieve that balance, like anything else in the world, things begin to open up and unfold.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the confusions that's happening right now, because I think this newer generation that's coming through, where they are not identified with male or female, I think they're farther evolved because they are coming in as one. But again, when you try to translate that in the third dimension, where we are all duality, black, white, right,
Yes.
wrong, female, male, it gets distorted because it's what they feel internally, and it's hard to describe in the third dimension. But I honestly think they're more evolved, so to speak, right? And it's an example of we are everything and removing.
They're out there, right? And
Yes.
But we're forcing them to conform to an explanation. And so I think we started to create those difficulties that we're experiencing right now. But yeah, I absolutely agree with you.
So one thing I love about your book is because I can feel the energy and the life coming off of it. And I feel as though nowadays so many people are just using ChatGPT to kind of write their books for them. And they, it's like they write about what they think is in style right now. And I could really sense that your book is different. Did you find that you possibly channeled a higher part of you to write the book? And if you did, how did you allow the ego side of the mind to kind of take a back seat?
Loaded question.
I know.
When we first really, the book is the culmination of our own transformation. And when I say the culmination, it's not that it came at the end. It began the last stage of our own transformation. When we were writing the book, we would stand up and read it out loud, right? Because we are ex-television executives, so we have seen models in which people create great stories. And so in our case, we were writing, sending it to someone. That person was sending it back because we wanted to create kind of the writer's room, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
And when that person came back, we would modify again because we were adding the energy. Because the typical writers are just trained in a certain way. And we're like, nope, out. It's love. This is not transmitting love. Let's rewrite it, et cetera, et cetera. When those things were happening, I could sense, and I'll speak first of the early stages of it, because when we started writing, my wife was the 5 women. She was experiencing all of and in a way in which I, as a man, and as Angel, was not trained to do. And what I mean by that is that I wasn't aware of my energy in the manner in which I am aware now, my intuition, my thoughts, and I'm still developing. And I believe I'm in early stages of it. But she could tell me, I feel it here. The pain is here. There's a memory here. And I was like, what is this?
Yeah, what's happening?
She was the women.
Yes.
She was the pain. She was the trauma. And I was Mary. And the sense that I got, and now I'm speaking for things that happened since then, I can't explain them, but I ended up, for example, last summer, going to the tomb of Mary Magdalene in the south of France. I had this urge that I needed to go, and I went for 24 hours and then came back. I believe now that I was channeling some sort of energy related to Mary Magdalene. And
it's incredible. And I love when we follow those impulses because it's so strong, right? And I think in order to get that impulse, you have to be doing the work, right? We have to, because those messages are coming to us all the time. But like you said, if you're in the lower frequency and you're feeling heavy, you're not hearing all those nudges. So when you start to peel this all away and you have a higher purpose and you have intention, that's when the miracles start to happen. And that's
when it all comes together.
Yeah. And the momentum of that just starts to feel so good. And then you're in this whole other frequency that your life is like surrounded in. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like you're riding this beautiful wave where everything is in synchronicity.
Miracles begin to happen. I kid you not, when we were in the last stages of writing the book became alive. Yeah. I now understand, it would speak to me. It would say, no, this cannot wait, or this doesn't feel right. It has to change. And I'd like, the ego would think that it was me guiding that. It was much greater than the 2 of us, or the 3 or 4 of us that were working on the project. And now I understand. Right? That was then.
Yes.
We had no idea. All we knew is we wanted to do this book, that we were being guided by something, and we kind of accepted it. fast forward a year and a few months, and now as I see how people are connecting to it, you had a reaction when we handed over the book to you a few minutes ago. There was a woman recently a healer, and who said, someone was knocking on my door. It was a mailman, and the mailman was carrying a box. It was a book we sent her. And the mailman basically told her, I don't know what's in this box, but the energy changed in my day when I grabbed it.
Wow. Okay. Yes.
And so now we know it's connected, and we see it all around us. And so we're really privileged that we've been selected as messengers. We're all messengers, right? But that we're in tune, as you say.
But you are able to channel it.
Yeah.
You're able to do the work, move out of the way, and then create it. And you can really, like I said, feel the power of it.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for sharing. And I know that this book is going to really shift the lives of men and women. That's what I think is great. I know it says goddesses, but this energy is very healing and relates to both the male and the female, which I think makes it really special.
Thanks for mentioning that, because for example, we have a podcast, and we dedicated the first season of our podcast to the women who had read the book. And the reaction from men has been so deep and profound that our second season is only men who've read the book, because we wanted to really point out what you just said, that really what we teach here, let's face it, awareness, gratitude, forgiveness, acceptance, and intention are human needs and characteristics, not male or female.
Correct.
But in this particular case, we do know that the feminine it will become stronger. And the reason why it has to is because we need to be in balance.
Right.
And we haven't been.
Now. Yes, we need it right now.
We do.
And the feminine energy is all about healing. And I love that we've had the mental energy or the male energy for so long, right? Because it's kept things, let's just say, I don't want to say in alignment because that sounds but the mental aspect of the male energy.
Absolutely.
And now it's we're all in the healing of the earth, healing
and the heart.
ourselves, healing the heart.
Yeah.
And also respecting the female energy again, because so many time periods that's looked upon as something taboo, right?
Yes.
You connecting to the power of the female was somehow, bad. And now that's part of the old programs where that doesn't resonate anymore for men and women.
Absolutely.
Right? Because there's so much power within a male when he carries the divine feminine. It's so beautiful because he's sensitive. He's sensitive with his family. He's being intuitive. He's bringing in the healing energy. And again, we're removing those old stories of being one or the other, better.
Yeah.
And your book does it again.
It's so exciting because we're heading into this new era, a new age of balance between everything you just mentioned. And we are about to uncover how magical, to remember how magical and profound and supernatural we all are.
So do you have any daily practices that you use to set intentions for yourself in your daily life?
Well, I consider myself extremely lucky because normally when you go through these periods of introspection, and for most people that we've watched, they have to go back into the 3D world, right? Their real lives, quote unquote.
Yes.
And the moment that we decided to co-write the book, our world became introspection. And so in essence, everything we do always brings us back to that center. But we do meditate in the morning, something that we did not do, or I did not do on a regular basis. To give you an example, when we meet with our teams, we take a moment to center ourselves and to breathe. When we have meetings with third parties that we work with, the first thing is any third party that works with us has to read the book. And the idea is that they understand what it is that we're going to be working on and what is the energy that we want to convey. But even then after that, it's all about, where are you? How are you feeling? What are you having difficulties with? And so it's really exciting to live that way. And so it's a little bit easier for me because it's almost like I am always being drawn into that. And obviously it's not 100%. So once in a while, you do lose focus. You do get upset. You do have fear. You do question yourself, is this what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life?
Yes.
And all of a sudden, the phone rings, a message arrives, and I kid you not, I find myself going like this almost immediately, responding to that sort of ingrained feeling of God is present,
Yes.
and I'm being reminded of how little and small I am within that, but also grateful that God is present and I'm being reminded of my place within that universe. And so it's just beautiful.
That's so beautiful because it reminds even myself bridging our worlds, because it's so easy for us to say, do this, right? It's like when you do yoga, right?
Yes.
When you first start, you do it only on the mat. And then all of a sudden you're out at the grocery store and you're a little bit more like, hey, right? Focus on your breath. Relax. Why you all tense? And it's really nice when we start to see it bridge over into our third dimensional life. And that's where I feel like you're doing it, right? So such a great reminder.
When spirituality becomes your way of living in everything you do, it's just so beautiful.
It's so beautiful. It's taking that space. I have to remind myself too, right? Like take that space for yourself. Like we did right before we shot, right? I'm like, well, I feel kind of off, but I feel somehow like I have this imaginary push, like get it done, or like I'm doing it for somebody else, or what does this look like? And then you're like, well, wait, that's not how I live. And if this is my world and I'm a co-creator of my world, and it goes back to your book where stop reacting, right? And start creating. So take that second, pause, ground yourself, make yourself feel good, make your guests feel good. You're not rushing through life. You're here to connect and you're here to flow, and which is amazing.
I felt that when I entered here.
Oh, good.
I feel it when I am in my house. But I think in what I'd love for your audience to walk away with, I'm sure many of them already know, that's inside of us. That's something we create by simply going inside and allowing ourselves to pour out. And that's the environment that you can always have. You can choose to engage with any level of energy at any time.
Yes.
And if you're conscious and always have an intention is, I'm love, I want to be love, and the only energy I want to be associated with is love in every aspect, whether I'm going to the bank, having a conversation with my child, or engaging in an essay that I need to write. I am love.
I am love.
That's the intention.
Yeah, that's such a good reminder. I don't know why you saying that, I automatically saw different guides for different emotions, from the densest to the highest. And I saw it as, who do I want to talk to throughout the day? Am I talking to a guide that's really low frequency, that's making me feel bad? Or do I want to connect to a guide that's a teacher, that's flowing, that's making me feel good, which in a sense is going to attract more of that frequency into my life. I don't know why I saw it so clearly when you were talking about it.
Yeah. You know what you just said reminds me of, as I have this thing with kids. I love kids, and I'm a particularly great dad. And I remember even when I see a child today, I kneel down to their level, right? And it's a child. I'm going to look at her or him in their eyes. And so I think that as long as we're conscious, even if someone is in a lower energy, as long as we're conscious, you approach that from, I'm meeting you there. I am not going to absorb your energy.
Yes.
But I will meet you where you are. I believe there is an element of, I am here to be of service. Whatever that is for you at that moment. Empathy.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Kindness. Right? We just need to remind
not taking it personally.
Not take it personally, because it's not about me.
This is not about me, because I think that's the biggest message. So many people, if you have that voice or you're running the subconscious program, you're going to think it's about you because they're lighting something up inside of you. But after reading your book and transforming your entire life, well, you don't have those triggers anymore, right? You slowly start to remove what those old programs, those limitations, they're no longer your identity, so that you can start to feel more of that unconditional love flowing through you.
What we experienced as we were going through that introspection and the things that we learned, what we found is, how do we condense this all into one story. And so we needed 5 stories. We needed 5 women. There's a little bit more, but we focus on 5 in the book. And we wanted to do a number of things that were critical. Simplify the story. We wanted anyone who picked up the book to feel comfortable reading it. The other thing is we wanted everyone to walk away with the idea that the answers that they're looking for are always inside of them. Yes, you can look outside for wisdom, for mastery, for
inspiration.
Yeah. But do not kid yourself. You know. Just make the space to go inside. And that was really important because I don't know you. I know of you. I know elements of you, but the entirety of you, only you know.
Yeah.
Right? And likewise. And so we want people to look at themselves as this fountain of information that you can tap into and find answers that will help you along the way.
Yeah, that's so true. I think that's my favorite part about this work is as you peel back the layers, you get to re-fall in love with you. Because most of the time, people don't know who they are. You've spent so much of your life from being very little, from being at school, where you have to become someone else in order to fit into this mold that most of us were not made to fit into. So automatically we start to hide, right? Even hide from ourselves because what we see we don't see it anywhere else. So again, what I love about your book is teaching a person that basically those programs, those beliefs that have been given to you are just walls that we are taking away so that you can start to learn who you are. You can start to fall in love. You can start to be a little more gentle.
Yeah.
Right.
We have an entire chapter in stage number 1, awareness, on limiting beliefs.
Oh, that's perfect.
There are so many that we are not aware of.
Yeah.
Right. And it could be one of the things that I used to say a lot. My wife would always just point it out is, this is the way I am. I'm sure I'm not going to change. Imagine.
I'm going to have to use that line.
Right. And
you get what you get.
You get what you get. And essentially you're closing the door on growth, on expansion, on the possibility that there is another answer out there.
Right.
Right. And I joke about all the things that have happened throughout the world. My wife uses the example of, remember when people would say the world is flat? And there were a few naysayers like, no, we think it's round, it's a sphere.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Who knew?
Right.
Now, we killed a few of those when they first came out with that idea. But that tendency that the human beings have to immediately reject something because it's out of the norm is because we're so absolutely, I want to say constrained, but it's also polluted with limited beliefs and ideas. Some of them are outdated by hundreds of years, if not more. The moment you open yourself to that door, then you begin to say, oh, wow, look at that. And in the book, what we try to do, Marisa, was to bring the story. Mary is the founder, and she went around the world and found wisdom in so many places. And she said, well, how do I bring it to people who don't have the means to travel the world and see all of it firsthand? I'm going to create a space, the Orchid, that any person can go and experience wisdom from all over the world. So when the women go to this amazing spa, which we say it's the greatest spa in the world, they are meeting all sorts of therapists, teachers, and healers, from tarot to Watsu, through energy, to massages, meditation, writing. And the idea is that they take a little bit from everywhere. And depending on what is that key that opens up your soul and your heart, and it connects with, you might just find it here. But really, it's all about opening yourself up to the idea that those keys exist. Just keep looking.
I love that too. I'm just thinking of the spa. I'm like, I want to go there. But what I love too about what you said is being able to take a little bit from whatever resonates with you, right?
Yes.
That you give this space where I can go there and play and also learn about myself.
Yes.
And I had no idea I'd love to be in the spa element, or I had no idea that I'd love, this aspect of it. but now I can start incorporating it into my life, and automatically it makes you feel a little bit more confident. And
Yes. All of us have experienced something in our lives that seemed out of the ordinary. Whatever that is. I've had them, you've had them, and sure, and
Yes.
whoever is watching and listening is just go within. Remember that moment. If we all go within, we'll find in our own lives things that seem unnatural, right? And the truth is, they're more natural than we realize.
Mm.
And so, examples, when you start looking at the news, right? In Egypt, recently, there was a study done with radars and all sorts of new technology in which they found that below the Pyramid of Giza, there is a shaft, right? A column. And I had read long ago that probably the pyramids were really the top of the obelisk. And it so just happens that maybe that's true. And that's just one example. And we're hearing more about extraterrestrial activity.
I know.
We're hearing more about it, but it's been going on for
Ever.
a long time.
Yes.
And I believe, and as we've spoken offline as well, that we are so much more powerful. But we're also cluttered with all these limitations that we've imposed. Society has imposed, and we've self-imposed as well.
Mm-hmm.
Our book is about that. It's about experiencing through gratitude, forgiveness, and acceptance. It's a cleansing. What we found is that when we were in gratitude, it was like a force that was expanding, that just pushed negativity out.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, we've seen it with our daughters where, they would come in a terrible day and say, okay, lay on the floor, let's start giving thanks. And in 10 minutes, I kid you not, they would be like, the shifting of that energy dissipating, and all of a sudden, their day changed and they were in a different place altogether. And so that's the invitation that we're doing through the book. As you connect to the frequency of the book, we did a couple of things that were really important, Marisa. We spoke only from a place of love, and we read the book again and again, probably like 12, 14 times, to take away words or sentences that were judgmental.
Yes.
Because the orchid, your heart, is a place where there is no judgment. And so we wanted to make sure that that was captured there. And
It feels so good. Like I said, the energy just coming off the book feels magical. Like it feels like it's life. And I could see just by you sitting here that you could have channeled the information, because you're just a channel of love and just a channel of the frequency that people needed to hear right now to help shift the world, to help to shift the old consciousness, to help invite this new energy to start to flow within everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited by it. Where can I get a copy of your book?
Thank you for asking. The book is in ebook, electronic, in physical, obviously, and in audio, both in English and in Spanish. We're working now in other languages. And it can be found, most people buy these days on the larger platforms, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You mentioned Target.
I know, I saw it at Target. When I said I saw it at Target, I'm like, well, it's got to be popular then.
And it is available wherever books are sold. So pick up a copy, go online, and you don't trust me or what I'm saying. Yeah. Really read about what other people are saying about the book. Go and look at the reviews on the major platforms. People are speaking of some form of transformation happening in their lives because of it.
Wow. Thank you so much, Angel, for being with us today. This was incredible getting to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us today.
Thank you for having me and us. Thank you for considering the book, and thank you for allowing us to share it with your audience.
Of course. Until next time, you guys, keep tapping in.
If you want more, please join our community at marisagrieco.com.